We have discussed topology is nothing but it will tell how different devices are connected in a network for data communication. Now we are discussing three main topologies. One is bus topology, second one is star topology, third one is ring topology. In bus topology, there are four devices. We are calling them as computers C1 to C4. You can take it as a D1 to D4 also. All these four devices are connected to the main cable. This main cable we are calling as a bus cable. By using a drop line connection, each device is connected to main cable, and at the joint we have a metallic tap to connect this drop line to the bus cable. So this bus topology is a multi-point configuration. You can see there are 4 points here, like 4 stages of a bus. We are using only single long cable. This is the main cable. This is one end of the cable, this is the other end of the cable. We are using only single cable. Whereas in star topology we use different cables, and in ring topology we use different cables. But here the main cable is only single cable, but we are using drop line cables from each computer to the main cable. And at the joint of the drop line cable and bus cable, when we are connecting, we are using a metallic tap. Any computer can be communicated with any other computer in this bus topology configuration. Example, if C1 wants to communicate with the C4, it will send data to the main cable, and the data will travel, and while the data is traveling, any computer can receive that data. C4 can receive, or C3 can receive, C2. Similarly, if C4 sends the data, C1 can receive the data. In both the ways, in bidirectional, data can be sent and data can be received. Advantage is easy to install because we are only using single main cable, and cables are less, that's why cost is also less. But the disadvantage is, if there is a fault in the drop line cable, then maybe that one device only affects. But if there is any fault in the main cable, then there is no communication, then the communication will stop. So that is the main drawback. Because we are using only one main cable, the traffic, if there is more traffic, speed is low. Example, C1 wants to communicate with C3 and C2 also wants to communicate with C3. Then after C1 is sending the data C3, then only C2 can send the data to the C3. So that's why speed is low. This is about the bus topology. Multi-point configuration, only we are using one cable. It is easy to install, but the disadvantage is if there is any fault in the main cable, that affects the entire communication. Next one is star topology. In this, all the devices are connected in the star fashion. We are using a hub as a central controller here. Whenever D1 wants to communicate with the D4, it cannot directly communicate with the D4. First it sends the data from D1 to hub, and hub will send the data to the D4. Here mainly telephone exchange uses this type of star topology network. The advantage is we are using from each device one line and one IO port, and if any one link fails, then there is no problem for the remaining communication. And fault identification is also very easy. But the disadvantage is if hub fails, then the entire communication will be stopped. Next one is a ring topology. In this, all devices are connected in the ring fashion. We may take ring topology here, we considered in the unidirectional fashion. So if any example D1 wants to communicate with the D4, it sends data to the D2, and the D2 regenerates the data again, so it acts as a repeater. And again D3 acts as a repeater, it regenerates again. So that's why the advantage by using ring topology is information loss will be very less, because each time we are regenerating, each point acting as a repeater. But the disadvantage is if there is any failure at any one point, the entire communication will be stopped, because it is an unidirectional communication. A single node failure affects the entire topology. So we discussed three topologies: bus topology, star topology, and ring topology. In bus topology, all the devices are connected to the main cable. In star topology, all the devices are connected to the central hub. In the ring topology, all the devices are connected to each other such that each device is connected to two other devices, you can see here. Okay, out of all these four devices, out of all these three topologies, in which topology we are using only single main cable? Which topology? Bus topology. In which topology we are using hub as a controller? Star topology. In which topology we are taking the unidirectional flow? Ring topology. Okay, this is about the different topologies.